The internet is filled with extremely dumb takes. In the gaming industry specifically, there always seems to be someone spewing out a take with little to no information and just talking about situations that they generally don't understand. I mean, we've had woke developers attack their consumers because of their genders. We've also had people that claim to be game journalists say they can't play games because they're just too hard, and they've even asked for easy modes in games. But today we have a very interesting situation to talk about, which is probably the worst take in the gaming industry that I've heard in quite a long time, because Google Stadia's creative director is trying to make a point about licensing and paying for content on Twitter, saying that streamers and content creators should be paying companies to promote their games. Google Stadia and the team behind it is just the joke that keeps on giving. Before we get into the topic though, if you enjoy the content I create, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, follow me on social media like Twitter for updates to topics that I cover, and if you want to support even further, you can become a Dark Titan via Patreon. All of the links are in the description. I appreciate all of the support. So Alex Hutchinson, as you can see, his description says creative director at Google Stadia, previously Journey to the Savage Planet, Far Cry 4, Assassin's Creed 3, all of my opinions are my own, decided to tweet this out thinking that this was a good idea, thinking I know enough information about this topic to make a relevant tweet about it, yet it is the most irrelevant tweet I've seen in so long. So he said streamers worried about getting their content pulled because they used music they didn't pay for should be more worried by the fact that they're streaming games they didn't pay for as well. It's all gone as soon as publishers decide to enforce it. Now, he is talking about the Twitch situation. There's massive waves of DMCA going on with Twitch streamers. Their VODs are being deleted, their content's being removed. That's a problem in of itself, but he's saying that streamers should be more worried, not about music that they didn't pay for, not about having their clips removed, but that they're streaming games that they didn't pay for as well. And he goes on to say something else, which I want to point out is currently being ratioed with 2.9k likes and 12,000 quote tweets. He said, the real truth is the streamers should be paying the developers and publishers of the games they stream. They should be buying a license like any real business and paying for the content they use. This is a terrible take for a multitude of reasons. This is just a nuclear bad take by someone who's obviously extremely out of touch with the industry, and this is supposed to be the creative director for Google Stadia. I mean, Stadia failed extremely quickly. It is the joke that keeps on giving because honestly, it is just so hilariously bad. But this man obviously doesn't understand how important content creators are to the industry. He basically just wants everyone to implement a streamer tax. If you're a streamer and you're playing a game, you have to pay more for the game. He has no idea how vital creators are. Just look at something like Among Us. The game wasn't very popular, no one was really giving it the attention it deserved, and it probably wasn't selling a lot of copies. And then a few popular people played it, and now it's an extremely popular game. I mean, let's even look at Fall Guys. If large creators hadn't given it a chance, it wouldn't be popular like it is now. And another point here is that not all creators get games for free. A lot of creators do end up paying for their games, and that's why this director is just so wrong on so many levels, because creators do pay developers when they're buying the game. They're paying $60 and now $70 for AAA titles, and sometimes creators do get games for free, but that's because developers want these creators to promote their games because they know the potential behind promoting them via streamers. Yes, streamers are making donations, they're making money by playing a game, but potentially thousands of people are watching a game being played, and it's bound to sell copies of that game that you might not have sold previously. Streamers and content creators are vital to the industry now. They help promote games, they help games grow beyond what was imaginable. So to attack creators saying that they need to give developers more money is just fucking absurd and outrageous. So I wanted to go over to the trending page because this is currently trending on social media. His bad take is being ratioed so hard that he got to trending on Twitter. I don't think that's why he wanted to be trending, because his take is so terrible. But Alex Hutchinson, a creative director at Stadia, Google's cloud gaming service, discusses streamers' relationships with developers and publishers. Honestly, Dr. Disrespect's tweet is kind of perfect. Creative director for Google Stadia. Mark Curran said, "This is why Stadia will always be a failure. It's the mental attitude, and this is not a winning mental attitude for the gaming market." I 100% agree with that statement. Dan TDM said, "Terrible take. The amount of exposure streamers and YouTubers give to games just by playing them is worth major money by itself. Some games only market through influencers now because it's so strong and it works. Maybe Google Stadia wouldn't have failed so badly if they actually cared about creators. We didn't see Google Stadia being promoted by any creators," and I actually have pointed this out several times in live streams now. Google Stadia, a huge flaw with it was the fact that their marketing was trash. Yes, they put up ads on YouTube and they put up ads in general, but they didn't have anyone showing it off. They didn't have anyone talking about it, and I feel like that was a huge problem because a lot of products now are marketed through influencers on Instagram and Twitter and on YouTube itself, and no one was promoting Stadia, and now we kind of see why, because the people at Stadia don't really care about influencers. If publishers want creators to pay more to play their games, what about advertising costs? Alex Hutchinson doesn't go into that. He talks about it being a business right here. He says, like any real business. I mean, if people like this want to treat streamers as a business like he says they are supposed to be, then what about advertising fees? Is there going to be an industry standard? How much will companies pay to have someone like PewDiePie play a game or maybe even promote Google Stadia? The point here is that these companies don't want this to happen, and this is an odd take out. He is someone that is extremely out of touch with the industry, and that's why products that he is part of fail, like Stadia. He's getting laughed at on social media because he's someone representing a huge company like Google and their products, yet has no idea what has helped the industry grow for many years. And yes, creators have most certainly helped the industry grow, but that's all that I really had to talk about in this video. This is a nuclear bad take. I wonder if Google will say anything. Probably not. I don't want him to be canceled. I don't want him to be fired. I'm not someone that agrees with cancel culture at all, but this is just a terrible take, and it proves that some people in the industry really don't know what the industry is about. Please feel free to let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a like and share it, and of course, if you did not, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.